Hello, 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 and welcome to an exciting episode of Metal Gear Monday, where I'm gonna press a button that'll make some really cool music play for like 3 seconds. Yeah, I feel the vastness. Oh, oh, it stopped right in the middle of me talking about how awesome it was. Is my controller going to be working because I turned it on in the middle of, oh yeah, looks like it does work. Boot up cycle. But also, that's not cropped correctly. Control D. Control R. Control D. Control D. Control D. Oh, wait, give it some more. Okay, there we go. That looks about right. I don't need to control F this time, luckily. It's a control D kind of situation. I would like to put the Twitch chat on my voice chat, but also talk the closest thing that we got at the moment in my schedule to some classic internet personality discussion with George. I don't know where else I can cram something like this into my media output, but I'm sure this is an idea that all 6 people watching right now on Twitch might be kind of mad about, but that all 130 or however many people watching on the Super Bunny Hop second channel, where I post the super secret VOD uploads of streams that that no one watches, that I actually, since no one watches them, that means that I care about interacting with that side of the community a notch more. No offense to the regulars, you know, who live and die on the main channel, but back in the good old days of Super Bunny Hop and just like internet personality experiences in general. You know how your favorite internet personality that you'd follow would put a video or two out every month, but then every week you'd get a podcast, right? Everyone used to have that kind of gig, right? And on that podcast, you'd hear them talk about the latest news, and it would always be fairly unserious, non-expert opinions about topics that are not the specialty they make most of their money from. So this is where you'd get to hear me drink a beer and eat a salad and talk about pop culture trash. Some absolute classic, literally by the most ubiquitously accepted definitions of the word classic entertainment. This is the Metal Gear Monday equivalent of the kind of popcorn slop personality entertainment that fans of mine would used to get with the podcast, that also is going to be oddly referential to a longer term history of people relaxing at the end of a long day to stimulate their imagination for easy entertainment. What could it be? I wonder. What in the world could I possibly be talking about here? Syncope. What is syncope? Why was it kind of like a maze? Oh yeah, there it is. Now we should all know what it is, right?
After years of war.
So who is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be Agamemnon? I think the helmet in the front of the frame is Odysseus, based on who we see for the rest of the trailer.
No one can stand between my men.
How he looks a little old and schlubby and raggedy, unlike
And home.
MF Doom, who we see at the beginning. Also, it does not look nearly as bad, costume and set-wise, as the leaked production stills from sets would have some people believe, and there was a funny Mega 64 video about this, about the Zelda movie. Anyways, what's going on there? Is that the Eurymachus backstabbing scene? Because I got something I want to talk about when I get a minute. I mean, some of this looks really cool. I'm guessing that's the Hades sequence, and that looks really cool. I'm guessing, I mean, this could be any number of segments, but it looks cool.
Promise me you will come back.
You can see that they're not quite able to capture the Stanley Kubrick energy of recreating classic big overdramatic oil paintings with the movie camera, but there's still, I'm not offended by anything I've seen in this, particularly right here. Right, we gotta get some good old classic shots of Odysseus looking like an old weathered, battered, pissed off guy getting beaten up by the storm. He still has a boat full of crew members, but at some point towards the beginning of the end of his adventure, which is ironically at the beginning of the book, and I really hope there's some kind of fun play with the nested narratives in the Christopher Nolan version. We should see him by his complete ass self, potentially butt naked, holding on to like a single piece of wood at some point before he washes up on the Phaeacians. This, if you're looking at an adaptation of the Odyssey and the scenes of Odysseus getting battered about in the storms on a shitty little boat don't remind you of thousands upon thousands of years of human artistic traditions and the powerful metaphors that one can glean out of a tale of putting up with a huge storm of bullshit going out throughout your life, then you should be good, right? I don't know if this will be the best one, because I do have a pretty solid good idea of what I think might be the best Odyssey adaptation that I know of, that I will be pushing that everyone watch hard next spring, going on next summer when this one's coming out. But I'm not offended or disappointed. It doesn't look amazing and astounding, but maybe that's just because my standards have been set so high by the other Odyssey adaptation I want to recommend. But also, I was like a little scared. Sometimes Christopher Nolan's not good. Sometimes he is great. I can hope this is a great one. Look at this Dark Souls ass shot of. I guess this is before he goes down to the underworld. Yeah, maybe it's gonna be like Dark Souls, where before he goes down to the bottom of the underworld, he has to walk into this pitch black.png background, and then once he's down at the bottom of a deep dark cave, for some reason it looks like you're in a wide outdoor space, right? Because there's the shot where there's like a very clear horizon in the background where black is the ground and gray. Yeah, this. And bluish gray is the foreground. Look at this. Looks like we're watching the Napoleon movie by Ridley Scott, except this is the case where you would actually want this kind of... There were some production stills that leaked out of the costumes on set not looking as cool as they do in the trailer, and that's just... I roll my eyes about as much as that stuff is like gamers complaining that a PC version of a complicated AAA game isn't optimized very well during the first week it has millions upon millions of people playing it. Yeah, there's one bit of armor in here that really, this guy, this MF Doom looking motherfucker, it doesn't even look like there's a real person underneath there. He looks remarkably like Ares in Epic the Musical, and I am guessing that what's going on here is that this is a guy who is one of the demigod characters. So is Odysseus too, but you're supposed to root with him and think that he's human. But if there's like one guy in the whole movie who has this really stupid looking, plastic looking toy armor, and the way he's framed is like supposed to make him look bigger and more imposing than our main character. Look at their dick size contest they're having here with their mohawks on their helmet. The brooms of their broomed helmets are demonstrating that I think the character we're looking at is not a normal guy at all. Like it's Agamemnon or Achilles or Diomedes, one of the big, dumb, ugly brutes who maybe not in the modern adaptations, but in the classic adaptations, will cry beautiful poetry for several minutes on end when they get in big trouble. But yeah, and it looks good in this shot. It looks fine. There are a lot of how you do the armor in Iliad adaptations has always been a really interesting question, because the Mycenaean armor that archaeologists have dug up and put in museums from the time period Homer was talking about look really weird and wacky. Broomed helmets were not a thing. Broomed helmets have become iconographically as has become popularly associated with the imagery of the Homeric epics ever since Roman times. The actual Greeks weren't as big or ubiquitous about the brooms on their helmet. Some Greeks were into that, some weren't, but like just closing your eyes and instantly picturing this image of a broomed Greek Roman helmet being associated with the book cover with Homer looks absolutely beautiful on book covers, and is a powerful image to associate, but might not really be the case. So I'm pretty sure here that Nolan is not going for accuracy, which I think is fine and kind of the point of one of these things. But every now and then we get a shot that looks like they sourced it from Greece, like they went to research trips. So Agamemnon's palace in real life looks kind of like something like this. Or whatever Mycenaean palace it was that Heinrich Schliemann blew up with dynamite and then stole all the jewels and made his wife wear them for sexy photographs, and then I don't know what he did with the jewels afterwards. Maybe he blew those up too. Anyways, yeah, in all these Odyssey movies, going back to maybe the earliest ones that I've seen in the 60s, though I'm curious if they're even going to do this in some of the earlier ones I haven't seen from the 1930s. They always look like this. The Mycenaean palace that Odysseus lives on looks like the archaeological sites do in real life. And in real life, there's not an ocean behind it. There's not. There's just more scrubby hills with trees. But I can like look at this place and see, like, in my mind's eye, I am instantly associating with the archaeological trip. Like my mind's eye associates with classic oil paintings of mythological national scenes here. Although, I don't know if it's getting the painterly qualities quite as deep as where I'd want them to be, which is, I don't think I'm necessarily blown away. Like, because when you do slow it down and look at it, what's with the coloring on the oars there? Our eyes are meant to be drawn to the oars, but then when we get a closer look of what they look like being held by the people, they're kind of comically large. Like, some kind of Disney adventure park theme park design is going on here, but that's fine and could totally work. Don't worry about it. I mentioned something earlier about how it seems like for some of the armor, at least, realism is less a priority than classical mythological fantasy storytelling. With this guy right here, whoever he's supposed to be. And when you're doing the Odyssey, when you're doing a Homer adaptation, anachronism, liberal interpretations, creativity in general. Creativity in general is always encouraged. It's kind of sort of like the exercise of doing a Homeric adaptation in general is almost like a ritualistic act of creativity, of seeing how your vision compares with thousands of years worth of descendants and ancestors that you're adding the latest link on the chain to. All of whom, going far back to the beginning to even Homer himself, would have had no real idea of doing it with a sense of realism in the first place. If Homer is allowed to depict a Bronze Age conflict between Mycenaeans and some kind of East Asian city-state faction from 2,500 years ago that we have no historical record of, if Homer is allowed to make those guys who we can presume are based off of real, based off of some memory of some real kings or generals, if Homer is allowed to make them speak in beautiful rhythmic flowing poetry and make them look like they are shimmering and glistening with the anointed gleam of divinity, and other such supernaturally aesthetic pleasing liberties and sensibilities taken to make a very entertaining story out of the most popular news story from 500 years ago, then I think Christopher Nolan is allowed to use a bit more of several centuries and generations worth of iconography and associations associated with Homer. Which is why I want to go back to this plastic guy here, right? Right? He looks like Darth Vader. This is a villain guy. Not everyone in the movie is going to look with this guy. Not everyone in the movie is going to have armor who looks as stupid as this guy's. And this guy has armor that looks as stupid as it does for a point. The characters in Homer are proud and vain to a fault. They are villains because of it. You can look at this image here and have a pretty good, solid understanding of what's going on. I'm guessing it's going to be Agamemnon. Then again, Agamemnon usually has a beard. I think Homer mentions Agamemnon having a beard, but he looks like he's taking that role. If not Agamemnon, then Achilles or Diomedes, someone with presumably higher authority than Odysseus, chastising him, not being as impatient or prudish. Anyways, let's see what I missed on Twitch chat while I was monologuing out loud. Color grading, ... says Token Flip Guy. I don't know. There were a few scenes where the screen's full of water and mist that look excessively blue, but the ones where they're on dry land in daytime, I don't know if this is going to be the kind of situation where it could be improved by black and white. Because I kind of dig Underworld. Yeah, if this is the Underworld. Maybe the idea is that they walk over the edge of the flat Earth, and this is what it looks like on the other side. Yeah, look at that. There's someone coming up from the ground. That's totally going to be the Underworld. And sometimes it looks stupid and silly, but I think that's fine. Like, if you can stop a frame on something like this, it still looks like a fun costume party. He's losing his footing. He's making kind of a silly facial expression. The costume isn't doing a great job of looking very intimidating or authoritative, but that's because it's a moment of decreasing of the character's status where he's going to get spooked out by ghosts or something. But yeah, if you hear people get real nitpicky about any kind of realism going on, then that's just fucking garbage. There's a huge difference between authenticity versus realism when talking with Homer, and realism has never been something you can reasonably expect with any version of Homer. Okay, so yeah, color grading looks a little artificial in some scenes, but I'm not very much superhero vibes with the costume. Yeah, I got more Roman from the brooms. So it was a Roman retcon, huh? The earliest surviving copy I think we have of the Iliad is from Roman times. It was buried with a mummy in Alexandria. And Alexandria was probably more predominantly Greek in culture than Egyptian. It was founded by Greeks, but I think the mummy in question was a guy who lived and died during Roman times, and that the effort to excavate and preserve the artifact might have actually been happening during times where the Roman Empire was extant and operating, at least as the East Roman Byzantine Empire. Because the master copy that monks have been copying over and over again for centuries to bring Homer to the current times is based on something from an initiative, I think, that the Roman colony of Alexandria did. I wonder if I got a lot of details just wrong just then. But yeah, one thing to keep in mind is that even though it's so very Greek and Greek and everything, it is like the Romans that the world primarily owes to popularizing this stuff and spreading it around. I still need to make the Greek trip. He sadly became one of those actors where he isn't a character, he's just himself. Tom Holland. Sometimes I'm glad I'm as faceblind as I are, because I don't know who Tom Holland is. That Spider-Man? Is that one of the Spider-Man? One of the Spider-Men? I think the only Spider-Man I really recognize is the one from the Sam Raimi movies when I was a Spider Kid, and I think that was Tobey Maguire. Anyways, I don't recognize any of these people. That's fine. That is totally fine by me. I would prefer it that way. If it breaks my immersion and takes me out because I recognize an actor, I think I'd almost rather stay like an ignorant child. Oh, this is the helmet on the poster. Yeah, look at the cerebral, the cerebrae, the spinal column Legos, the Legos on the back of his helmet. So yeah, there's a real stupid poster where the poster is this guy's helmet, and I am happy to report from the trailer that it seems like this guy is not the main character at all, and that his armor looks stupid to a point. You are not supposed to look at that armor and think, oh, that's the main character we identify with. Did a quick Google of Mycenaean Greek armor, and yeah, I see why Hollywood wouldn't go that route. On the other hand, doing a quick Google of it does make you realize that, like, a sort of perception of mythologizing the generals and kings who could afford that stuff makes a lot more sense. It looks like it is from an era where the smithies could not get parts very small and detailed. So they looked remarkably expensive, not just to make, but also to haul around. Like, that kind of a set of an armor requires a state workforce to maintain and transport and build and then use. So if the idea behind the ridiculous characters from Homer seeming far-fetched, if it seems far-fetched that the kings and generals in Homer might have been based off of real people, I think it seems less far-fetched when you look up just how much stately resources were invested in that armor and how recognizable they would have been for it. And I think mildly effective for the time. The problem, if I remember correctly from what I was reading, was that it would fall apart if it endured a bit more stress than what people would probably be expecting, closing their eyes and imagining. But it would still protect the important people from stuff that would kill the common people. Therefore, give or take a few generations of generational memory and political sensitivities dying down. Stories about asshole kings doing asshole things in a war could gradually turn into stories of mythological fake people making evil deals with gods who fool them to lose the war. Make it stand out, make it interesting. That dude looks like Batman, though. I'm assuming that Nolan is going to be as faithful to Homer as he was to Bill Finger's Batman. I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but I think I've heard tall tale that Christopher Nolan is a big fan of the Emily Wilson translation, which is interesting. I'm a big fan of it too. I love it, but always with the caveat that it's for beginners. It's for people who might want to sacrifice a whole lot in order to get a hint of what the musical rhythm of the story might have sounded like when spoken out loud in the ancient Greek dialects. But a lot of texture and detail will get sanded away, and it's not the scholar's favorite. I wonder how the teens that have been obsessing over Odyssey musicals will react to it. The typical Nolan dourness. Skipped him. Marvel Spider-Boy. Better than his... how the teens that have been obsessing over Odyssey musicals, they'll be fine. They're not gonna go to the hospital or go to jail or anything. I actually might be among that crowd to some certain extent. Oh wow, the spinal column. Is it? I think it looks silly and stupid. Yeah, so looking at them both, it looks like Odysseus's uniform has been through some shit, and cleanly shaven Agamemnon, whoever this is supposed to be, is wearing a vanity piece that looks like it has not seen any wear and tear at all. Like it's not their Odyssey, but yeah, they'll be fine. Well, then maybe they should actually read one of the original translations out loud with a bit of music strumming in the background. I don't know if this is going to be a musical or not, in major points if it will be, but there is at least a nice satisfying sense of musical rhythm to the trailer, and whether or not that carries over to the movie is yet to be seen. But I did watch The Return a few weeks ago, which was a Homer movie that depicted the very end of the Odyssey, where Odysseus comes back, and it very faithfully followed the original material, given the budget and circumstances, interpretive liberties it had to work with. But also, it had rhythm. It has a sense of rhythm to it. If you're not actually going to be singing, then you gotta at least make sure that you're speaking the words to a pre-planned arrangement of background music. It keeps all the scenes fading in and out of each other to like 3.5-minute intervals. Alright, we're going to watch this one more time, then we're going to compare and contrast with our favorite. Saying our favorite, not my favorite, because my opinion is everyone else's.
After years of war, no one could stand between my men and home. Not even me.
They buried them all very neatly. You have no idea how big of a deal that is going to be. Oh, that's Polyphemus's cave, not the Underworld cave. The Dark Souls cave, okay.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
It's fine. This seems fine. I'm gonna make a date for the Christopher Nolan Odyssey IMAX experience. You can't stop me. But one thing I'm also going to be doing in the weeks leading up to the Christopher Nolan audience official re-release is no, discard changes, picture-in-picture mode. Please capture my picture-in-picture Firefox Square. Thank you. Okay. Now I, on the other hand, am fairly confident that no matter how Christopher no no matter what sort of dish my boy Knowles has cooked up back there, my favorite Odyssey adaptation to feed my family will be this one.
How has everything been turned against us? How did suffering become so endless? How am I to reunite with my estranged? Do I need to change? What if I'm the monster and threw that guilt away? Would that make us stronger? Would it keep our foes at bay? If I became the monster to everyone but us, and made sure we got home again, who would care if we're unjust? If I became the monster, I will deal the blow, and I'll become the monster.
Fuck yes. So yeah, not everyone's gonna have the same level of emotionally intense association that I have with this one, but yeah, I was getting the chills and shit. The amount of depth of how much all the cuts have to do with the story and what the character is going through, and how there's even a sort of little narrative played out in the trailers. Hitting me a lot harder because I don't have to think about what the editor was intending with every shot because I edited that one. Yeah, Epic the Musical is wonderful, and it's the best adaptation of Homer that we're gonna get. It's better than the Nolan one. I will already call it. I'll make it interesting. I'll put money on this one. Because it's going to be doing something that no big money Hollywood adaptation of the Odyssey can do, and that is giving the kids in the audience, the viewers, a version of their own Odyssey. It is about reading a translation of the Odyssey is not even, it's not 100% a narrative story about a guy who goes on an adventure to come back home. There's so many layers of parallel narrative to it, and one of them that I think is very important, that is very difficult to do in other adaptation mediums, at least traditionally, is that you're also reading a history on how to entertain people. It reads like a guidebook. If you do that Emily Wilson translation and actually say the words out loud and get a sense of how much breath the performer was expected to have, and how the story kind of slows down when the performer takes a breath, and how they repeat the synopsis of the story every few hours to refresh the people who had to leave a bit for a bathroom break during the performance, you will realize that you are experiencing a history of entertainment. And one of the lessons that you learn from this enjoying the Odyssey is like taking a lesson on entertainment history. One of the things you'll learn is just how much emotional power very basic, small budgeted, raw basics of human communication can do to your emotions when you have the context of the story laid out and you're immersed and in the mood for being able to fully accept with suspension of disbelief the licensed lies that society's licensed liars, the poets, are allowed to tell to us, their stories. And the thing that any big money adaptation of the Odyssey, the only one that I think ever came close to having this lesson as part of it is the 1960s miniseries on Italian TV, where they did it with they did a fantastic Odyssey on a shit shoestring budget, is you get a sense here for just how much power flashing colors with black lines on the screen can give to you when they're attached to a powerful, timeless story that is scientifically proven, almost like a instruction manual when you read this thing, on how to manipulate human audience emotions on a massive scale that will get the everyman to experience tragedy and relief and comedy and anger and arousal and sympathy and empathy at a nice sine wave of a pattern that keeps you going for so many hours, that makes you end up feeling like you learned something for your own self at your life at the end of this. It turns out you don't need Christopher Nolan's budget and Christopher Nolan's big stupid plastic costumes and Christopher Nolan's effects team to make that happen. And when you read the Odyssey, an actual original translation of one of the originals, and enjoy it, you are getting the kind of lesson that is not going to be there, or the kind of lesson that's going to decrease in effectiveness as the budget of the adaptation increases. Let's see this again. It's so fucking good.
How has everything been turned against us? How did suffering become so endless? How am I to reunite with my estranged? Do I need to change? What if I'm the monster and threw that guilt away? Would that make us stronger? Would it keep our foes at bay? If I became the monster to everyone but us, and made sure we got home again, who would care if we're unjust? If the monster. I will deal the blow, and I'll become the monster like none they've ever known. So what if I'm the monster lurking deep below? I must become the monster, and then we'll make it home. Penelope, Telemachus. Hopelessness is mercy upon ourselves. I'll become the monster.
I adore this. I adore this so fucking much. I think one of the things that really did deactivate my skepticism towards the Nolan one is that the trailer did not shy away from primarily focusing on like Odysseus's grief that it might be him. What's the line? Yeah, in Nolan, they don't sing a fun pop song with a high-pitched male voice. They have the very stoic, laconic, two-worder, one-liner from, I guess, whoever's playing Odysseus, where he says, "Nothing's gonna stop me from getting back home. Not even me." Both trailers have a vested interest in this internal, the uncertainty of an unreliable narrator that is for a good portion of the Odyssey a wonderful, beautiful, mind-blowingly genius thread of its nested narrative structure where Odysseus might be lying to you. Epic the Musical didn't get into it as much as I would have hoped, but it still did a really fun job of chronologically reorganizing the story while also making you second-guess Odysseus in the second chapter of the story. What the original poem gets into, and what I would expect Nolan might actually have more fun with, is fourth wall breaking. Like maybe Odysseus is going to, the movie's gonna begin with Homer himself in like a modern green screen theater waving his arms to some Foley audio cue that will replace the green screen in the background with something more historically appropriate. And then later on he's gonna say like, "Sing to me, oh muses," and then suddenly the digital effects will kick in and you, the viewer, will get transported from the studio into ancient Greece. And so I'm also wondering if Odysseus is gonna wink at the camera. If Odysseus is gonna have to tell his weary, tiring tales of sailor's sorrow to his audience in Phaeacia. And at the very beginning of the movie, to nest in most of the rest of the movie, and then after like 2.5 hours of Odysseus running around at sea, maybe the camera will zoom out and show us that we've been seeing it all come out of his mouth or something, and then this gets contradicted by something we'll see later on. The Return kind of got into how it hinted at, but couldn't really say out loud, that a lot of the fun of the Odyssey is getting into the theories about the lying Odysseus is doing to you as in the audience and on top of the viewers. Epic the Musical has so much fun with the innuendos when they wash up on Sex Island, when they wash up on Circe's Island. It still took a few viewings to get it, and a few readings to get it, but after, you can go through this thing so many times, and one of the reasons why there's so much replay value to the Odyssey is that all the little adventures that he's going on might have been lies of relatively reasonable and realistic things that would distract depressed, war-traumatized sailors on their way home. The Lotus Eaters are the least subtle. They're just a metaphor for drug addiction. They run in on their way home. They run across an island of unproductive, slovenly drug addicts. Some of Odysseus's crew gets addicted to their drugs and needs to be dragged back onto the boat because they'd rather spend the rest of their lives doing drugs instead of going back home and doing something useful with their time. And then they go to Polyphemus's island, and that's a metaphor for colonialism. All of these stories are like metaphors for something shameful he did that he does not want to say, so he makes them into more magical things than it really is. So if some of his crewmates were so undisciplined and unfaithful that they would rather just do drugs instead of go back home, he turns it into a story about magical lotus eaters. The one about the Cyclops is typically assumed to be a metaphor for colonialism, about how they try to pitch camp on some islands they thought was deserted up until they found out that it was actually already inhabited by some technologically underpowered, but still nevertheless really terrifying and powerful savages who chase them off, who shamefully chase off the supposedly superior colonizers. The story about Polyphemus's island is preluded with colonialist tropes about how Odysseus judges them for how much agriculture they're using on their islands, about how there could be a big, busy, bustling city on the island if the Cyclopses were less into pastoralism and more into agriculturalism. They're cannibals, even though they are not humans. They're clearly not humans. They're giant one-eyed Cyclopses from a very different lineage in the Theogony. Odysseus describes them as cannibals, as if they washed up on an island of primitive, naked savages, and then got their asses kicked and had to run away. Circe's island, and then they wash up on Circe's island. It's a metaphor for a brothel. And then Calypso's island is a metaphor for Odysseus himself getting sexually distracted by an affair for years and years and years. All of these things are not flattering stories for a big, powerful soldier from a supposedly powerful, technologically advanced state to be telling. And in the Odyssey, the original materials, there are actual fun fourth wall breaks where Homer winks at the mind's eye in the audience and tells them to tip their bard. And I wonder if Christopher Nolan can have more fun with that than the teenagers can. But the thing that the teenagers can do with Epic the Musical that the studios cannot do with the bigger budgeted adaptations is a Shadow Link. I'm just gonna start playing the Slink cut, and I'm gonna post a link for it in the description. Not picture. Alright, my brothers, listen closely. Uh-oh, here's my subtitles. Okay, so the thing that the low-budgeted Epic the Musical and animatic version made out of unfinished animations that are explicitly not interested in going beyond basic sketch line work, 3 colors per frame. This really, 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 really effectively conveys one of the most beautiful lessons that you get from getting into Homer, and that is that your interpretation has always been your own this whole entire time. For all 2,500 years of history, that these have been popular stories to adapt and monetize in various ways. There's never been a definitive visual for like what Odysseus is supposed to look like, or what even Troy is supposed to look like, or what the Trojan horse is supposed to look like. So having a version of Homer that changes visual styles every few minutes is such a cool fucking way of doing that. If they ever do a bigger budgeted production version of this, I don't want it to be one style. I'm gonna skim through a bit. But the fact that they can change art styles every 3-minute song or so, and then if you're watching the George cut, I get really intense with it every now and then. It's not just a bit of a fun diversity spice of life. It also is kind of telling you, it's showing you, not telling you, that interpreting the Odyssey is interpreting Homer. Human interpretive storytelling experiences have always kind of been a two-way street, where the Odyssey in the audience's mind is always going to be their own. The Odysseus in the audience's mind and just how reliable they are about how much truth they're telling when they wash up on Sex Island here is something that's not going to happen if the Odyssey is depicted by one actor that doesn't change in one yeah, like Christopher Nolan's not going to change his visual style to like VTuber HoloLive Odysseus every 3 minutes. But yeah, I think it's also definitely probably not going to be as gay as this one was. Yeah, no, Kanzia, you're onto something. So, whenever you watch Epic the Musical, I'm going to say you. I'm going to use a disembodied, ambiguous audience as a you to refer to. It makes you want to work on something. And that's what working on Homer, reading Homer will make you want to do. If you have a creative job with creative inclinations, or hell, if you don't and want to fantasize about it and think you can, this makes you think that you could do something yourself. There's so much they are doing with just 3 colors and basic sketchy-ass line work. I made a 2.5 hour long cut of this myself, and I changed the coloring on every single scene, and you can do it in only 3 clicks. But it really, combined with the music, it does have like an almost objectifiably reliably, psychologically reliable way to react. Trigger emotional reactions, even when you're doing the editing on this yourself. It's insane. But yeah, no one watching the Christopher Nolan Odyssey is going to look at the images on the screen, or maybe the sounds coming out, and think in the back of their head, you know, I could do this. If I had nothing better to do for a weekend, I could maybe make like 30 seconds of this. I am not going to be thinking that kind of thought when watching the Christopher Nolan Odyssey at all. Very, very few adaptations of the Odyssey at all ever get into that. And one of the reasons I like the late 1960s one is that it's done on such a budget that it might make your minds go to that point. It kind of looks like theater kids having fun on a stage. But yeah, like, I am not good at drawing, but you don't need to be good at drawing for some of that. Like, whoever drew the little sleepy pig, it was an incredibly cartoony, stylized, yeah, being good at drawing is probably less of a requirement here than being good at some other aspects of the artistic creation process. So, when it comes to Epic the Musical, everyone has their own version of it. Even if you didn't spend a summer editing your own 2.5 hour long cut of this to get you out of depression. God, it's so good. Even if you saw it on YouTube, even if you saw 3-minute animatics, one video at a time on YouTube with ads between, that's going to create a different sequence in your head of what this experience looked like than virtually everyone else who kind of makes something more for it. And the animatics are so basic and so insistent towards an aesthetic of unfinished qualities that it's like they're inviting you to do something with this of your own. A lot of these are published on black and white on YouTube, and you can add colors that make things more consistent with previous frames, or like manipulate the audience's mood into doing something different. Or I'm gonna bring the George cut up for a split second. Oh yeah, in my version, yeah. So this is different. In Slink's version, the super gay "Wouldn't You Like" song is kind of orange and citrusy, but let's see, where did... Oh no, do I not have the George cut on this computer? I did. Here it is. What is this with Vengeance and Ithaca updates? Okay, good. Oh, by the way, let me absolutely post a link to that. The Slink cut, Epic the Musical. explaining what I mean by that is a bit of a trip. But if you want 2 hours, 2 solid-ass hours of ridiculously good entertainment on YouTube that's like free with no YouTube commercials that are going to get thrown into the middle of the quiet, atmospheric, emotionally intense scenes, like this is it. This is the most impressive thing I have ever seen done with the medium, almost. But anyways, there's a George version of around here somewhere. I wanted to compare and contrast a bit. Yeah, wouldn't you like your outcome preferred? I do not have enough space on my... Okay, so Slink's cut, the Slink cut, and the George cut are going to look very, very superficially similar, but the differences that come out in the subtleties are related to like personal stories about what I was going through at the time. Yeah, okay. So, what I meant by saying that the teens who are into Epic the Musical are already kind of built to have their own version of the Odyssey in their head, and that no other adaptation can really do this sort of thing. When so much money gets put into it that they have to keep things aesthetically coherent and consistent. So we're gonna get synced up here and show 2 different visions of the Odyssey, a particular scene in the Odyssey that you can get within the same SKU adaptation of the Odyssey. What would you call the Epic the Musical version of the Odyssey? Alright, here we go.
I must say, what a brilliant speech you gave. Who goes there? Just a friend who could help you save your men. A foe like Cersei's not to be messed with. You want to beat her, you'll need the blessing of a certain god. Divine intervention, someone who's not afraid to send a message. Homies?
Oh, they changed it. They went to citrus colors and I changed to the bisexual colors. Oh, this is also a different artist they're using, and this is because this animatic was not out when I was working on the cut in my lower right. Later on, I did use this animation in my current master cut of the George cut, but I kept the coloring purple. I, for one, think the purple is important here. There we go. Okay, never mind. I just transitioned using the smoke from the magic bag. See, look, it's the same artist, but you can change the colorings for different moods. And it still retains a pretty nice, clean look. So yeah, I remember what happened here. I didn't have the heart to throw away the first artist. It's like 2.5 hours long of the animatrix. Every 2 to 3 minutes, the artist changes, and it's wonderful. And there was a very smooth transition where Hermes pulls something out of his magic bag, and there's a poof of smoke that covers up the camera. And then on the other side of the smoke, it like changes to a different artist. Get ready. The George editing is gonna get real intense a little while in the lower right. Yeah. So, in some certain respects, there are 3 artists on screen at once in the George version in the lower right. Which might be too much for regular people, but you know what? That's fine. I was doing this for fun. Epic the Musical is about the art of it, whether or not you even are making art. Like, consuming this as a product is about how you would do it differently. If not, you were actually making the media that's on the screen. If not, then how different it would be in your head as you go through the story and interpret it in your own head. Oh, see? I think Slink used a clip there that I didn't want to use. There was subtle editing and the subtleties between these, but the coloring is the same, the character design's consistent.
So I must ask just to be sure. Did you do something to them?
Who, me? All I did was reveal their true form.
You turned them into pigs.
I don't know who you are nor why you're here, but let me make this one thing clear. I've got
Okay.
to protect nymphs I can't neglect, so I'm
Okay. Is there like a certain favorite? I don't even know if like we got an hour, 3 minutes here. I don't know if the Christopher Nolan big money Hollywood CGI spectacle version of this is even going to be as much of a tearjerker as the Epic the Musical version by teenagers on Tumblr can get. So yeah, after getting exposed to maybe 20 minutes of this, you stop questioning how weird everything looks and how handsome and sexy everyone is and how unfinished it looks, and you just start to accept it, and suddenly there's some scenes that will crush you. There's some parts in this that get me tearing up and crying, and I highly doubt that 30 repeated viewings of the Christopher Nolan Odyssey is going to be able to stack up to that kind of power. But yeah, I also want to point out some visual inspiration that I saw in the Nolan Odyssey. I think when they're sailing through one of these vagina monster caves. Phyllis. Okay, hang on. Where was Christopher Nolan here? While we're waiting, let me put on a fun happy. Oh yeah, in my version I use an animation that the artist disavows that I think is really funny and cute, but the artist themselves, if I do publish this myself, like this is the kind of stuff that I would run into. But yeah, there's even a scene where the George cut of Epic the Musical would say something, imply something with the editing that other versions wouldn't. And yeah, I can see why someone who actually wants drawings of moving characters on a screen might prefer the upper left over the lower right. Oh, look at that, I'm combining 2 of them at once, but I can see how George Weidman, the video game YouTuber weirdo, would want the one on the lower right compared to the other one. So like, you get your own version of the Odyssey when you're going through Epic the Musical, and this time slowing down while Athena is talking to the heroes is something that warrants a bit of a conversation as well. But anyways, yeah, okay. So one thing that's gonna be really rough for a while. Where's this Ares here? The MF Doom looking guy, yeah! On one hand, I don't quite know how many different versions of scary ancient warrior in black armor with broomed handlebar mustache, with broomed helmet brush, you could make from the concept of that sort of visual character sum total. But I'm going to be very curious to see if there is coincidences or inspirations to be looking into of visual designs across these various works. And he raps! He raps to you. See, this is what we're not going to get out of Nolan. We're not going to get this out of Nolan. We're not going to have the characters in an adaptation of Homer rap to you in full confidence and earnesty of how cool of a thing that would actually be to do, because they're teenagers who are really excited about connecting the dots between oral storytelling traditions, modern and ancient. That's not going to happen. You can have a guy in the Christopher Nolan version who kind of looks like a scary Darth Vader version of a evil Greek war demon like Ares, but he's not going to rap. This guy's not going to look at the camera and start rapping at Odysseus about what a shitty commander he is. But when you have the freedom and liberty to capitalize on ridiculously high quality but low budget young talent, you get this rapping Ares sequence that is so good.
What kind of sick coward holds back his power while his friends get devoured? He didn't even fight Scylla, didn't even try to kill her. Hides inside a wooden horse to get the job done. Never handles things up front, pathetic and weak like his son.
Hold your tongue now.
Yeah, fucking, it's so good. It's so good. So there's some dots getting connected in Epic the Musical that will never get connected in the Nolan one. And two that I have made here, everyone who has some version of Epic the Musical in their head is going to laugh at some point about how rap, it's like epic poetry. And that's always a fun one. But one that I really wanted to hammer in was this FGC stuff. Like the rhythmic Homeric shit talk of epic poetry is kind of like the shit talk of FGC matches. Yeah, I have a 2.5 hour long George cut of this stuff that I have always been afraid to release because the artists might have some kind of issue with it. Because the artist who made this took it down. They didn't want this to be associated with it. I don't... But since I'm not making any money and doing this just for myself and my friends to help all of us deal with depression, I think might be a case where the author has died for this one particular case. All right, now what do we have? So we're not. I am so sorry to inform the audience of noble fans here who really and truly are very willing to put up with this. We have more viewers. We have 23 viewers now, but we are an hour and 10 minutes into a stream where I was telling everyone that I was going to be playing Snatcher, but instead we're watching Odyssey movies. So there's one more that I wanted to show. I watched this in bed a few weeks ago and had a pretty good time, but I don't think this is going to be one of the all-time greats, just One of the all-time goods.
Our king Odysseus, the smartest of all the heroes. He led us for 10 years in the Trojan War, before his brilliant plan to build the great horse. The Trojans thought it was a gift and took it behind their walls. Then, out poured our soldiers. Odysseus led us to victory.
People love stories.
You were there?
I am Odysseus' wife.
Odysseus is dead.
Not to me.
There is no king. He sailed to Troy years ago. Took the best men with him.
All year, suitors have been turning up, waiting for his widow to choose a new husband to be king.
Scoundrels. They're just here for your wealth.
Look at this island. A wasteland. Gangs of thugs terrifying the people.
They need me alive. At least until I choose my husband.
Mother, we can't live with those savages anymore.
I will choose soon, when I finish my wedding cloak.
That woman's making a fool of you, of us all.
I know who you are.
A tramp!
If I were free, I'd fight for what was mine. I'd fight for my people.
What will the people say when they see I have returned alone? That I led all their men to their deaths?
I don't want to know who Ralph Fiennes is. I don't know who that is, so when I watched it, I just saw Odysseus. He looks like Odysseus, he acts like Odysseus. He's a pissed off old guy with a beard who looks like he's been through some shit. The epic the musical Odysseus is harder to get used to.
And shoot the arrow through the axes. That man will be my husband.
Close the gates.
How can men find a wall but not find their way home?
I don't like the trailer.
Comes home.
Give the man the bow.
The movie's way better than the trailer. Woe to the high school freshmen that will be watching this for extra credit. I would hope that the high school freshmen would watch the Epic the Musical, one of the various unique and personalized and individually satisfying cuts of it that exist out there. There's got to be thousands. So yeah, this is an angle of interpretation, adaptation of Homer that looks at it as a more serious artistic ritual. The idea going on here is that they wanted to see how much of the story they could carry through really serious, ridiculously good character acting. Every single character in the movie mumbles really quietly. And I gotta turn the volume up on your headphones to catch everything. Right. They're very monotone. It's that kind of acting. Set design goes for realism explicitly. Significantly more so than Christopher Nolan. I don't want to use that word in association with Christopher Nolan's version. Epic the Musical is not interested in visual realism, but I think it is greatly, heavily interested in a sort of in being honest to I mean, maybe in the sense that it is being realistically resembling the way adaptation would have worked in the past over the centuries, where every now and then they can radically change superficially while still keeping things remarkably true to the original in deeper levels of the iceberg. Okay, so right, the return is low budget, but you would never know it. In the final cut of the movie, there are not these stupid scenes of exposition with the Greek vase art with the genitals photoshopped out. This is not in the movie. The dramatic Foley whooshy noises making it look like the action scene's full of cliffhangers is not really in the movie. Just like in the Odyssey itself, there is an explosive release of violence at the end of the movie. It is not an action movie, it's a suspenseful thriller. But yeah, they're also limiting themselves. technologically or financially to some extent to make a point about the Odyssey being something that is very hard to screw up if you're working with legitimately good talent. And that's something that we're not going to be getting out of the Nolan one either.
I know who you are.
A tramp.
If I were free, I'd fight for what was mine. I'd fight for my people.
What will the people say when they see I have returned alone? That I led all their men to their deaths?
This land is...
Oh, yeah, the movie in this particular chapter, and with it being explicitly realistic, there's no gods and there's no magic. Odysseus doesn't even really bother telling stories about, well, where he's gone. There is an assumption that he had an affair. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Shoot the arrow through the axis. That man will be my husband.
In the Nolan version, Odysseus is going to want to tell you tall tales, and that's going to change things very differently from this one.
Some war becomes home.
Give the man the bow.
Me, my magic, stupid, realistic movies. Magical realism, that's the word you want. And as Metal Gear fans, we should know all about that. Now, just how magically realistic the Nolan movie is, or how much realism with the magic there's going to be, I think is still yet to be seen. But the trailer I thought was promising. There's the Underworld. Yeah, we have like a hard confirmation. Wait, no, that's the Return. I wanted the Nolan. Yeah, here it is. So for starters, this guy looks like some kind of fantasy thing going on. This is not at all a realistic portrayal of what the biggest, meanest piece of shit on the Greeks' side of the war would have looked like. Where did it go? Did I accidentally close it? I think I might have accidentally. Okay. So yeah, I am specifically talking to the boo. I think it was it Kanzit or Pentapingun? It was Kanzit, yeah. Give me my magic, stupid, realistic movie. Don't get your hopes down. This is a magical, stupid fantasy version of what one of the characters, who is clearly a villain of different stature than the rest, would be. Hey, I don't think there's anything.
No one could stand between my men.
Oh, wait. I just remembered something. The Gigi animatic for when there might be a Telemachus mutiny betrayal scene. Christopher. The Gigi animatic might have been used for, I shit you not, actual reference here. This is, yeah, okay. Now let me get the George cut. Where did I put the George cut? Accidentally closed it. Recording footage. Vengeance and okay. Find our way to the scene. Telemachus and Odysseus have a fight. And it looks a lot like what's happening in the Christopher Nolan trailer.
What if the... Okay. Brother, you know you'd have done the my brothers. Why?
Alright, now what's going on here in the Nolan version? Up a layer. It's almost the same sound effect. And it looks like it's being used to transition some sudden cut. I also don't know if they got the effects done. There should be like blood or something, right? Okay, but yeah, as far as magical stuff goes, this guy does not look like whoever designed their costuming was interested at all in realism or plausibility. Certainly not humility, which is a quality that fits these characters very, very well as a Bronze Age warrior society of people who kind of gauge their self-worth off of how big of an asshole they could be. And then there's the scenes in the underworld where he goes to the underworld, and I think we see a zombie. You might have missed it, but now that I've clicked through this thing a gazillion bazillion times live on stream instead of playing Snatcher, felt like I saw a zombie show up. That shot does not look realist. Like, the perspective is weird. It looks very, very inspired by Dark Souls. This scene where some guy gets stabbed in the back on a boat full of angry men has me thinking that it might be the Mutiny. Seems very inspired by Epic the Musical, especially because I believe in the original story they don't stab Odysseus in the back. I think they like knock him out and tie him up. That was something that was weird about Epic the Musical. Like, it's the shonen anime influence or something, that the hero just gets battered and beat up by these wounds that don't end up mattering 2 minutes later. But there's the giant. Polyphemus is there. That's not very realistic. And there. This is a zombie soldier, a Dark Souls zombie with like tattered, look, the tattered broom of his helmet blowing in the wind. That's gonna be weird because they are supposed to be like talking to Odysseus. They're not real modern zombies in the comic, but they definitely look like zombies from Dark Souls. And then there was something about the storm. I mean, we're not really seeing anything supernatural, but it is awfully easy to think that from the perspectives of what we do see, at least, that is a supernaturally big storm. This is a supernaturally vast, endless wasteland. That is a supernaturally dark, deep cave. There's weirdness. There's magic to this one that I think is fine. I'm not hating on any of this so far. I get that they need to like show that there's a lot of dead soldiers around, but it sure does not make sense for them to be piling the. But anyways, that's just me being a nitpicker. What is fun about Odyssey, 1960s Italian one? It's on YouTube for a while. Odyssey. We got the French versions to work with. This is magical realism. This is great. I'm not too worried about the Nolan movie ditching the gods. I'm wondering if they're going to play a minor role. But we have magic. There's definitely magic in the trailer of the Nolan Odyssey. But let's see if I can find the one where they go to the Wind Gods layer. This one's so good because the atmosphere is really weird and spooky, and everyone's kind of depressed and out of it, which is authentic to the original.
alors à... Je t'en prie, Ulysse. Rassemble les compagnons et fuis. Le fils des...
Les vents sont dangereux. Je connais un vrai port où ton navire...
They got an old monster movie guy to do the Cyclops effects, but I'm trying to find the Wind Island, where the special effects are really bad. Yeah! These guys! It's not the Wishbone Homer episode, but I think this one's my second favorite adaptation we have so far, next to Epic the Musical.
J'ai emprisonné dans cette outre les vents ennemis qui soufflent sur la mer. Je n'en ferai sortir qu'un seul, le Zéphyr. Gonflera tes voiles jusqu'à ta patrie. Une fois arrivé à bon port, jette cette outre au fond des mers. Avant que je puisse te remettre ce présent, il faut me dire la vérité. Si tu réponds honnêtement...
The French one. What's it called, you asked? Easy question. It's called l'Odyssey.
Non, très excellent souverain, aucun dieu ne me poursuit de sa haine.
Good Simpsons joke to be had there.
Jure-le-moi, Ulysse. Prête le serment que tu ne fronceras en rien le seigneur Poséidon. Et dans cette outre fermée, tu emmèneras les vents qui font les tempêtes et tu vogueras sans peur jusqu'aux rives de ta patrie.
Yeah.
Je fais serment de lui faire les sacrifices et de ne jamais l'offenser, ni en acte, ni en parole ou pensée.
It was originally filmed, meant to be heard in Italian, but the French version is the only one on YouTube. The SpongeBob movie is just the Odyssey this whole time. That's the other thing that happens when you get into Homer. Everything else just starts looking like different versions of ancient mythological storytelling, but maybe that's because I'm getting into archetypal criticism right now.
Nous naviguâmes 4 jours sur une mer qui nous était propice. Je n'avais pas même besoin de suivre une route. Il me suffisait de me tenir.
But anyways, that's magical realism for you. You can have weird, wild scenes of them visiting the gods and the gods fucking around with magic. Cut to within seconds to everyone being relatively miserable and wearing handmade rags on a shitty little raft getting thrown about the sea.
Depuis 4 jours, tu n'as même pas voulu dormir. De quoi as-tu peur? Je me suis juré d'être vigilant tant que je ne verrai pas Sitac. Il le faut.
I'm playing the original Fallout. It really is just Odyssey with super mutants. Maybe especially when you load up your save games to save scum your way into a better situation than whatever the hero possibly could have stumbled upon himself.
Polyphème, nous pouvons le suivre. Mais quand un roi le couvre de ses bontés, il n'a que faire de nous.
But wait, there's more. We can't play Snatcher yet. There's still one more Odyssey adaptation to talk about. There's a 26-minute long Wishbone adaptation that really tickles me pink because the suitors were able to activate a very vivid sense of truth in the viewer will here by Northrop Frame terms, where the suitors of this version of the Odyssey story are like asshole businessmen from the 80s who are trying to destroy the community and put a dying strip mall on top instead. Oh yeah, they're gonna bulldoze a park and turn it into a strip mall as the metaphor for Odysseus's island kingdom having its wealth torn up from underneath it to feed short-term priorities for 50 people who show up out of nowhere all of a sudden. But yeah, in the Wishbone version of the Odyssey, the island of Ithaca is the park. The suitors are these asshole business developers. I think Penelope is Wishbone's mom, who's on the phone every day, like talking with lawyers and city council members trying to do something, but nothing ever really gets done. And it has a very good line reading where Telemachus recognizes his father Odysseus, who had finally come home. He slays the suitors with violence. There is violence here. I doubt the Nolan movie will be sparing us any of that, but even in a G-rated version for children on free government television, there is still splatters of juice and gunk that stain the hallways, as Homer would describe it here.
Have a nice trip. See you next fall. Ooh, big man with a sword.
This is lit and shot better than most modern movies.
Hello. Ooh, that looked like it hurt. Oh, he's gonna be feeling that one in the morning. Oh, look, all your little friends went away.
Okay, is he gonna say it now?
Hey, Dad, catch.
Good catch, Wishbone.
Why, thank you.
No, that was not the line reading. Hang on. Where is it?
Never.
Yes, could. Through.
So you.
Maybe someone in the comment section has it on timestamp.
I'm setting a challenge before you. Whoever wins this challenge will be my next husband.
Oh. So you finally decided to forget about Odysseus?
I'll never forget him.
Man with a sword.
Nope, that's not it.
May I have the stat? Look, all your little friends went away.
Nope, that's not it. Okay, so when Odysseus reveals himself to Telemachus.
Poor beggar. Wait here, I'll get you some food.
No, it's me, Odysseus. I'm back.
Dad? Dad!
Son.
Where
Story. I'll tell you later.
Okay, yeah, that's the Wishbone adaptation of the Odyssey. Son. Where did the George cut? Apps, documents, desktop. Yeah. One of my favorite comments on the video that I posted most recently stopped the video at the frame where some icons on my desktop are visible in the background and noticed that I had an MP4 of Epic the Musical, the GeorgeCut.mp4, and they were very excited about that. But anyways, I want us to compare and contrast again. Get my YouTube picture capture up at the same time. Alright, I have gathered you all here. All 31 people who are currently watching this instead of Snatcher. I have gathered you all here so that you can see how adaptations of Homer have evolved and changed throughout history, but have retained the same spirit of the same classic, everlasting story It will never get boring to tell over and over again and again and again. This is a very emotionally intense moment that comes at the conclusion of several suspenseful arcs. So I apologize if I might be spoiling something, but you can't at this point spoil the Odyssey. You're gonna have a good time. Everyone knows the gist of the story. It's like Shakespeare.
I'll get you. Poor beggar. Wait here, I'll get you some food.
No, it's me, Odysseus. I'm back.
Dad? Dad!
Son.
Where have you been?
It's a long story. I'll tell you later. First, we're gonna get rid of these guys.
Father? Son.
Son.
Telemachus.
Poor beggar. Wait here, I'll get you some food.
No, it's me, Odysseus. I'm back.
Can I time it up?
Dad?
No, it's me, Odysseus. I'm back.
Dad?
They even do the hood thing! It's the set. They're the same picture! Okay, no, I shit you not. Like, there's no way that the animator director was watching fucking Wishbone in another window while making their Odyssey thing, and then the Wishbone guys made their Odyssey. There's like 30 years between the two. They're for a completely different audience of completely different generations of kids. The words come out the same, even though the words in the original text translations are going to be slightly different. The motions the characters perform are the same. The clothes the characters are wearing and what they are doing with them is the same. Ah! I'm going to eat one more bite of this salad and then we got to play Snatcher. Okay, hang on. There was a 1997 version of the Odyssey. It was about a 3-hour-long miniseries, 2 parts. Pretty sure it's available on YouTube. And I wanted to compare. No, I don't. I wanted to see if a shot where they go in the Scylla cave. The animator on Epic the Musical, who's the big head honcho there, Gigi. When did they go to? Almost traced this shit. Nah, it shouldn't be that. Oh. This is a fun one. This is not my favorite Odyssey adaptation. Okay, maybe. Might be like a good number for 3rd or 4th favorite. There was something going on with cave entrances. The Nolan one. Wanted to see if I was over enthusiastic. I don't know. I feel like this might be one of the stretchiest streams. Trying to connect. Where does it happen?
We are a different you. This is our home. Of Scylla. This is our only way home. Deep down.
You're quiet today.
Deep down. Not much to say. Deep down. Now he is the worst. The lair of Scylla.
Have to go to episode 2 of the Hallmark Home Entertainment Odyssey. Top comment on YouTube. Why does the God of the Wind sound like Woody Allen? Version has a incredibly fun Hermes. I might have to run to the bathroom real quick before doing this next one. There we go. Okay. Good enough. Perfect, but I'll be right back. Ah. No, God, I'm covered in cables. Oh. Hello, I'm back.
What waited between those rocks. But we have never seen what waited
those rocks.
This is our only way home. Deep down.
You're quiet today.
Deep down. Not much to say. Deep down. You hide a reason for
I got a secret I can no longer keep.
deep down.
Under close.
So that's the kind of case where we would say that a work of art was inspired as opposed to ripping off or copy paste. But anyways, how did you manage to fire up Snatcher? We're using Ares. But then again, actually, thank you, Dice Cock of Shiv 1704. Thank you for reminding me that we are technically here to play Snatcher tonight. After 1 hour and 47 minutes of talking about the Odyssey instead. But we gotta get that good music. Okay. Okay, we can stop thinking about the Odyssey now. I'm not using RetroArch. I typically don't bother with it. Maybe you can tell us how Snatcher is actually still just the Odyssey. I'm afraid to load my save state. Because the last time I did that, it got rid of the regular looking for instead. I hate the Sega jingle. Right, it's... I hate how the music cuts off so suddenly. Like, wasn't Sega around this time period an actual clusterfuck of a company that would just, like, surprise release consoles? I'm wondering if the music cuts off suddenly because someone had to, like... Because someone thought they might still have another 2 days to work on it, and then they found out they didn't. Like, what if it cuts off? You can hear the exact moment where the worker thought his lunch break was gonna happen, and it wasn't. Yeah, Act 2. This is what we want. Okay, now I need to shut up and concentrate and try to enjoy Snatcher, because the story has been very complicated so far. So, in the beginning, in 1994, there was a virus plague in the Soviet Union where they were working on a weapon virus, but it accidentally slipped out and infected the planet, and millions of people died. And then the Soviet Union collapsed, and the timeline was a little more normal. But wait, no, it couldn't have possibly been, because millions of people died. So the timeline has not been normal for the cyberpunk future starting from 1994 onwards. Okay. Now, big plague from Russian bioweapons lab. And so there was also a World War III where various world powers fight a war of territorial expansion into formerly uninhabited wastelands in Russia and Eastern Europe where the plague was at its worst. They don't mention that millions of people die from World War III. It sounds like it wasn't that big a deal. It lasted for 6 months. They don't say that any nuclear exchange happened. So as far as cyberpunk dystopias go, we've gone through worse. Okay, so there's a plague virus outbreak, and then there's a World War III, and then Japan decides to build a, like, glistening harbor of international multiculturalism in the middle of the Tokyo harbor and call it Neo Kobe City. Snatchers start showing up and attacking people in Neo Kobe City 6 years before the game takes place. And no one really knows why they're doing it or what's going on, and the attacks seem really small scale and extremely highly targeted. They go after rich and upper middle class people with otherwise normal lives. You interact with a lot of street criminals who are very confident in their safety from the Snatchers. Okay, so you're a character named Gillian Seed. I'm remembering that. Who has amnesia, who used to be a soldier in World War III, but now you're going to be a junker, and the first line of the game is, Jamie, I've decided to quit my job and become a junkie. But why? And they have voice acting where you also find out that his wife has amnesia too, and that they're not really in love anymore, and it's really awkward. Why did they get amnesia? How deep are they going to get into that? I don't know either. So anyways, the story so far is that you show up to go to work at the Snatcher headquarters, and they send you to save another junker who's in trouble. And when you show up, you find that his head's been twisted off, and that a man and a woman Snatcher run away from the scene of the crime, but you don't catch him in time. So you then follow his trail of evidence. You meet his daughter, who's going to be a sex object later. You meet the seedy underworld of the Metal Gear nightclub, where you talk to video game characters and the dancer with the butt. And then you track down the male and female Snatchers who twisted the junker's head off. And you kill one of them, but then almost get killed by the second one. And a guy named Random Hajile shows up to bust you out. Okay, did I miss any important details? The US and Japan divisions were at each other's throats. No, I'm not using the light gun. Oh yeah, you can. I emulated the MSX version with the fan translation over a decade ago, and those memories are not coming in handy. How do I tell? Please tell me. How do I play this on an emulator? Do I have to say it out loud? Wait, listening only. Oh, I wanted to play the Sega CD. It says that you're listening only. Am I talking to someone who no one else can see, or am I like getting baited into talking about emulation? Getting baited into talking about things that I thought everyone already knew about? Right, thank you, Penta Penguin. Snatchers give off super pollen that makes everyone sneeze. I wanted to play the Sega CD. Yeah, it's there. It's available. The Sega CD version is in English natively, but I also remember emulating the MSX version for the fan translation. And Snatchers use black market sunscreen, not because sunscreen was illegal, but rather because it's winter. Anyways, I'm not gonna get too distracted too much. We remembered the important plot details, including the super pollen. What was the first one called? What was the first act called? I forgot. It's been 2.5 weeks.
Okay, let's try to sort all this out. Metal Gear, would you mind helping out?
Not at all. Now projecting recorded video images.
Gibson calls in, and you two immediately head for the abandoned factory in the M District.
Why did they voice act like that?
Gibson had already been killed by someone, or something at the factory. From hair and skin samples recovered from his body, you determined that the perpetrators were two Snatchers, one male and one female. In addition, from a floppy disk containing notes from Gibson's investigation, you discovered that Snatchers have a crucial defect. Gibson was apparently killed because he had learned about this weak point. And this weak point is a key difference between them and real humans. Their artificial skin cannot tolerate ultraviolet rays. Long-term exposure causes it to become cancerous, a form of melanoma. This severely limits the places and times that they can operate to midwinter, when daylight hours are their shortest.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for doing a synopsis from memory when they're going to do one from here, but I guess it's good to keep both of us refreshed.
Protected from ultraviolet rays over the past 6 months.
See, I really helped him jog his memory so he could do this.
Really put his earlier training as a science cop to good use in figuring this one out.
Did he?
That's why they use plenty of sunscreen, even in the middle of the winter. As a result of this, it becomes clear that there is one thing they must have to continue their survival. And that is medical facilities, where they can treat artificial skin which has become cancerous. And it appears that Gibson may have located a hospital used for this very purpose. In an effort to determine where Gibson had been investigating, you analyzed his stomach contents, found buffalo meat, and headed to the only place in the city that serves it, Outer Heaven. Isabella Velvet, a dancer at this place, gives you a description.
Also, I missed the Blue Velvet reference. There was an actual David Lynch reference right in front of my face for like an hour last time.
And that gave you two suspects, Ivan Rodriguez and Freddie Nielsen. But from the condition of Ivan's skin, you determined that there was no possibility he could be a Snatcher. There was no evidence at all of melanoma. But as he was in possession of liquid sky, you turned him over to narcotics.
I did?
Following that, a search of Freddie Nielsen's home turned up large quantities of sunscreen. Nielsen's wife, Lisa Nielsen, turns out to be a Snatcher, and you dispose of her. And you confirm that the skin cells found under Gibson's nails were from Lisa. Freddie Nielsen also turns out to be a Snatcher, and you dispose of him as well. The hair sample that was found in Gibson's hand is confirmed as being from Freddie. So you are able to determine that these two Snatchers, Freddie and Lisa, were the ones who killed Gibson. But then we have a problem. The bounty hunter who saved you, Seed, Random Hajil. An investigation uncovers that the information he provided when he filled out his bounty hunter registration was completely false.
They also worked us through every piece of pixel art that took more than a couple days to polish up here. We're really getting the artists. The artists are really getting their commission's worth from all the exposure here.
Thank you, Metal. And now for the real fun. The hospital that Gibson had tracked down. If we can hit that, we may be able to shut down this snatch operation of theirs. Or if we can find some
snatch operation
there, we may be able to find them quite easily.
So, Little John's memory might provide us with an important lead.
That's right. If we're lucky, there may be something left that we can work with. Navigators record everything their junkers do, just in case.
Just in case, huh? Well, this looks like one of those cases.
Harry should have recovered it by now. Go see how he's doing. Seed, I'm counting on you to find this hospital.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? We gotta find... Find the skin cancer hospital. Turn Steam off and turn my controller settings off. Wait, I just remembered the C button draws your gun so you can start shooting it. So can I draw my gun in here? Oh, it does nothing. Ask. Investigative procedure. Get Harry to recover Little John. Okay, yeah, he said some things in the tail end of that speech that I think I might have been looking at my phone too much. Little John is the name of Gibson's old robot. Mine's named Metal Gear. Why'd the music stop?
About time you got here, Gillian. I've got Little John's memory all ready for you.
Well, we able to get anything from it?
Just relax. I'll put it on the monitor for you now. I'm afraid it was almost completely destroyed beyond recovery.
Sure. 7.
Those snatchers, they sure do a thorough job.
Back on. They cure. They're known as tannings. There's now 19 people. 11 people left when I stopped talking about the Odyssey.
Relax. I was able to get a video image out of it. I don't have the slightest what this is, but it's definitely got something to do with Jean's investigation. This is it.
What?
So, Gillian, do you have any idea what this is?
Hospital O'Lean? This is almost certainly the
Oh, I
Snatcher
can barely
controlled
read
hospital
that.
that Gibson was looking for.
You ought to run the name through Jordan, but if that hospital is not legit,
I can't really see the
data
H.
won't mean anything. This city is packed with unregistered hospitals.
Might be time to play with
Looks curved.
filters
This
again.
word O'Lean might continue past the edge of the image.
I've stored this image. You can view it at any time. Just use the graphic memory command in the possessions menu.
Possessions. Go. Video memory. Good graphic memory. Oh, I don't see that the emulator has a toggle key for changing the post-processing filter. Okay, we're using CRT LOTS Multiplast Glow. We want to see if one of these CRT filters will make the H on the hospital text more readable. Wait a second, maybe it looks better. Oh my god, it does! Okay, well I can't really tell, but in the OBS preview window for the stream, if I maximize it to cover up most of the screen, the readability of the H goes away. The smaller I make this window, the more clear that letter H is coming through. But on my screen, I am not seeing that letter H. I am just seeing a mess of pixels. Where's the pixel? Conzi8, what do I do? CRT LOTS Multipass Glows. CRT LOTS Multipass. What other one? CRT. Oh man, it's barely there with the raw pixel. Yes. Oh, awesome. I want to play with these. So now that I'm actually playing Snatcher, I'm really just playing with CRT filters. And also, people are leaving now that I'm playing Snatcher. Okay, well, a few people actually just like, hey, this looks pretty good. What was this one? NTSC 320 composite scan line. Wow, so when I emulate the filters that are designed to emulate shittier cables, I end up getting more readable text in the pixel art. NTSC composite video 156 pixels. Huh. Some composite cables have like lower resolution. I don't know. The scan line that's making most of the difference. Scan lines are designed to right so that the adaptive effects. Ah! Oh, this looks good. See, 20 pixels. Go scan. Hmm. 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 The CRT menu in this emulator is huge, not controllable by hotkeys. There must be something like 200 choices, and they're not fast. Maybe I should consult Google. But the two favorite ones I've seen so far are the LOTS Esquire. Very subtle fisheye blur, chronically stable. Then there's the NTSC simulating composite cables, and where it looks worse, but I can at least read the text better. You guys really are getting the better end of the bargain, though. The text is always readable for you guys, but for it to be readable for me, I have to sit back and use my imagination a bit. CRT maximus-royale. That sounds fancy. Oh. Oh, we got an overlay on this one. The text is readable at distance. I just don't like the overlay, but maybe we'll get used to it. Can I turn it off somehow? CRT maximus-royale fast mode, half res mode. Okay, we don't want half res. We don't want CRT Matthias. Not bad. CRT maximus-royale is something I'll stick with for a while and see how we like. there an actual company named Olean? There might be more to do. That seems like a huge oversight. Also, no one in the cyberpunk future actually uses Bunker Headquarters' host AI computer system. I don't know if this is changing right now, within the very few seconds that the words are leaving my mouth on the original stream and not the VOD, but whenever anyone, like, I've never heard anyone with a brain give their computer a name or speak to it as if it has a name. I think there might be a certain sort of trend among people, you can call them that, who might be doing something like that with AI chatbot assistants. But whether or not that's really gonna be a thing, like if this Jordan computer existed in real life, I don't think people would call it Jordan. They would just call it the computer. Because in the cyberpunk future, you're like, the computer is designed to be obsolete in a few years. Piece of shit. We gotta bang on it a couple times to make it work. Why don't they just say the computer, that computer, our computer? Why do they give it a name? Why do they say it a name? There's always been, because there's always been a timeless human fascination with automaton people, and whether or not that really confirms whether or not we can know we're people by design. That's why. But it's stupid, and they should radically change the script for the next version of Snatcher that they're totally going to announce a re-release for the next video game commercial program, the next E3. We're going to load fact file. We're going to type in Olean and see what happens. Where do we type in the names? Oh. Yeah, I like this filter. There almost feels like there's a sense of texture to the key. Oh, name. Oh. Yeah, it's trying to be all personified with this first-person pronoun I stuff. Shut the fuck up. No one's fooled by this. You're just the computer. I shouldn't even be using the word you. It's just a computer. It's just the computer. Okay, so I guess we're probably gonna have to ask a woman. Women like sunscreen, right? Oh wait. I don't know if women like hospitals though, and I just realized that's what we have to ask them about. Olean. Oh yeah! That's the other thing. Reading novels is it still? Reading novels was still more popular in Japan in the 80s than it was in the States. Pretty sure it's been downhill in both areas, but that her point of reference for a silly name is a novel instead of a movie, I think is important for some reason. Investigate, talk. We're going to call Napoleon. No. 39, 56, 44. Listen, I'm playing this in like week-long intervals. I hope that was right. Nope!
The number you have reached is not in service at this time. Please check the number and dial again. This is a recording. JTNT Neo Kobe.
So it's just the referring to your computer, maybe not even like the AI software inside the computer. Did anyone ever even say the word Cortana? Did that actually catch on? I've never really seen anyone ask Google something in real life. I guess Alexa, whatever, kind of sort of catch on, but you can tell just from how I'm talking about it that this is not for me. 395644. 3950. 30. All these technologies that are designed to make computers easier for people who are computer illiterate, but actually make things worse for everyone, are not products for me. What?
The number you have reached is not in service at this time.
What am I? Ugh!
This is a recording.
I spent so much mental energy talking about the Christopher Nolan Odyssey that I can't even get some extremely basic short-term, the shortest of term memory. 39, 56, 44. 39, 56, 44. 39, 56, 44. Apparently I can't say any other words until typing that in, or else I'll get one of the numbers wrong. Do it again. What do you want? More information? Oh, brother. The revolution ended, right? The other question he asks... The other question he asked is not important, and I'm allowed to forget it. We're going to go to that Christmas shopping plaza. So yeah, a Japanese version of a red light district is actually a very nice, clean, safe place to be. Turbocycle. Oh wait, is the stream crashing? I'm sorry, Pentapenguin, it might just be you this time. Yeah, I think I can safely rest at ease. Worries of technical concerns. Oh no, it's Cersei. It's not Cersei, it's Siri. $39, 56, 44. Suspense is killing me. It's got to ring twice. Oh, maybe I did get it right. Oh, I'm calling his landline. I'm so... Wait! Hold up! Hold up! Hold up! Did we just... Did I just do that by... Did we just witness, like, a generation gap logic kick in to screw up an actual video game puzzle? Oh my god. Yeah, it's a Christmas game, and it's from 1988 originally. So even though we're in the cyberpunk future where there's high technology and portable wearable computers, are there portable wearable? I don't know. There's neon lights in the screen. That means high technology. They might not have smartphones in the cyberpunk future. That's really sad. Because I just instinctively, by just pure common sense associations with what I would do in this situation in real life, tried to call the guy I'm trying to meet in a crowd on a cell phone. But nope, that was his landline. We gotta look around with our eyeballs like it's the 90s. Nearby people? . Hey, only in a worst case scenario. Why'd they do that though? If you could bring one video game along with you on a Homeric Odyssey, which would you be? There's so many funny answers. Hunt Showdown. I was also thinking that Troy Total War would be another very good answer, because that way you could kind of sort of follow along on the map. But if you were when you get blown around in real life, you could blow around your little game token on the map and make it line up. Maybe I have to hit it multiple times. Nobody else is all paranoid of snatchers like I am. Oh, they have holograms. That's kind of high-tech. You know what's sad? Is that in real life, if it takes us another 50 years to get holograms, it's not even really going to feel worth it at that point. We had our cyberpunk dystopia. We squandered it. The world became worse. Nothing. If they hurry up and finish inventing holograms at this point, it's just like it's too little, too late. The cyberpunk dystopia won, and holograms aren't going to make it any more tolerable to have to live through. Why people Santa Claus? Is Santa Claus Napoleon? Was he not on my list until I clicked the options a few times over and over again?
You're no Santa.
How'd you guess?
What are you doing in that outfit?
What are you talking about? Ugh, I'm quitting this job. It's too dangerous. Somebody's after me. I'm gonna end up dead, just like Gibson.
It's in hospital! I want to ask about the costume, but I guess I gotta investigate about the costume instead. Rick Bakery Productions. Okay, that's the special effects guy who made the masks. Same place, which makes those Outer Heaven masks. How are you, Napoleon? I also want to point out that when he has to be Santa Claus, he takes the job way more seriously than when he has to be Napoleon. He was not in character at all. I am assuming that Napoleon is not his real name. Besides the password, I didn't have to look up anything about Napoleon. But when it's Santa Claus, and that's the identity he's using. He goes and buys a costume with a bag. So let's show him cash. So what do you want to know? Let's once again know about you. Is that gonna be a joke, or are we never gonna find out why he's called Napoleon? Oh no, the sneezing. Does that mean there's a Snatcher nearby? Oh, okay. Alright, are we done here then? So, yeah, when I was talking about the cyberpunk dystopia thing, I realized that in real life, the information communication technologies spiraled out of control compared to what the science fiction authors... That's not true. Compared to at least what Hideo Kojima wanted to market as a superficial prediction for this cyberpunk science fiction. I just wanted to say that there's something really disappointing about how we have cell phones in that they could be really cool and used to be really cool, but the last cell phone that I bought, that I am using right now, has driven me fucking insane. At how many ads and pop-ups there were. And it seems like the government is also way more functioning in this cyberpunk dystopia. They got their cyberpunk dystopia, but they didn't have to endure the Trump administration and the internet becoming not very cool. What's the internet like right now? If they don't have smartphones, is that what we gave up for this vision of the cyberpunk dystopia? Did they give up smartphones and the internet so they could have holograms instead? They have to go through the vintage retro inconvenience ritual of having to find each other in person when agreeing to meet at a certain time in a certain place, instead of being able to call each other on their cell phone asking where you are, which I instinctively did, just as like pure automatic response, instead of when they said that he wasn't picking up because no one was at home, I was the one who was confused. Like, why doesn't he have a little cell phone robot following him around like I do? Everyone has cell phone computers in their pockets in the cyberpunk dystopia. Remember when the third Deus Ex game was the first one to have some gameplay that takes place during the daytime? Because when cyberpunk dystopias are always shown at night, it makes them look like less realistic than they really are. Anyways, I'm going to pee in the bathroom again. I'll be right back. I hope that this music is not a fan favorite. I really hope that people don't spend hours of their life listening to this music on loop over and over again. Snatcher has some good music, but hope this one has not been treated like that. Hello, I'm back. I am trying to untangle my cables for Eddie. Okay, now I gotta get Eddie in the chair. Eddie, come here. Come on, boy. Not entirely sure he actually wants to be up here. He might not have known the intensity of what he was asking for. Okay, let me get that text hint again. What? Okay.
Alright, I've had it. Don't call me anymore, okay?
Wait a minute, Napoleon. I'll keep any snatchers off your back.
They're after both of us. You better worry about watching your own back. Oh, by the way, here. A little Christmas present for you.
What? Tissues?
See ya. Merry Christmas.
Bet they were, too.
Now he's gone.
No surprise there.
Meals.
He's got plenty of reason to be scared. Besides, I got the information I needed.
There's an advertisement on the back of that pack of tissues.
This is an ad for outer heaven. Just how many different jobs does that guy have?
Evidence. Does anyone in Japan ever pay for tissues? Like, how did the tissue economy not get radically destabilized by this tradition? This advertising tradition? Why tissues? I guess because they're cheap to produce, but yeah, if that's the case, then how come you can't, when you go to a convenience store in Japan to buy a normal pack of tissues, how are they able to sell those? How come the tissue market in Japan at a convenience store are not super duper high quality 100 packs? Because if you want your cheap bulk tissues, you can just go walk down the street and get yelled at by advertisers. Something? Second time I've seen it. Kanzi, if you're talking about the tissues, it's a Japan thing. It's not a joke. It's a very, very normal, ordinary way of advertising businesses in Japan. They'll print their logos and their addresses on packets of tissues, throw them out at people in the city. Ace Attorney joke people have. Did I miss the wait? What is that a joke? Was there a joke that I missed that I need to be asking about? Exit. The H kind of looks like an A, so that it almost looks like it's saying hospital. Illegally parked cars. Oh no, you poor baby. Is it a veterinarian? Let's make a quick save just in case. They could all be snatchers. Why is the music so scary? What could it be? What could possibly be this kind of situation? It's an impenetrable mystery. We're never gonna find it out. Someone ask GPT. Ask Grok. There you go. Have you ever heard anyone say that in real life? No. Super memory parrots. A Magellanic Kobe penguin. Sound pollution? That sounds not great. For starters, aren't kangaroo pouches like kind of grody and wet and slimy because the orifice of a living creature is probably not going to be a very sterile environment? So, you know, I don't think you want like a bunch of cat goop all over your keys. All over. You don't want to wipe the cat goop off your smartphone screen when you're pulling your smartphone out of your cat pouch pet in the cyberpunk dystopia of like 15 years from now when this game takes place. The other thing is, what about the animals? Like how much support is their backbone getting if they're being expected to carry so much weight inside of some kind of cavity or pouch that's growing out their backs? Okay, so the dog has been genetically altered to be unable to bark. The cat has been genetically altered to have a purse-like pouch growing out of its back. The penguin has been genetically altered to be able to exist in temperate climates and not die. I don't think they mentioned anything about urban environments with people and urban people food. The parrot has been genetically modified to have a higher memory than most parrots. Wait. You can tell... Can the little Metal Gear robot sidekick tell that these people have IDs on them? Snatchers! Have you heard any rumors about snatchers in this? So we should ask about the other Olean hospitals in the area. Right? Look. Nearby people. pass. Fully licensed, huh? What's he smell like? Can I get his phone number or something? What do I do here? Yeah. Ah! We have to find out what this hospital is all about, he said, while the screen displayed rooms of concerned pet owners bringing pets to a hospital for some reason. And then he says, we have to go to the reception area when the screen is full of reception areas. Okay, what did we miss here? Nearby people, reception desk? Ah! I don't know, I'm just trying to follow your own hints. Okay. The Life Manipulator Oversight Committee. Oh, maybe we show them the JPEG. I'm looking for a hospital with this sign.
Snatchers cannot tolerate dogs. It is improbable that this is their skin cancer treatment center.
Looks like we barked up the wrong tree here. So, now we're back to square one, huh?
Don't become too discouraged. We still have many leads.
Just get on the computer and search for another Olean hospital and go to the second result on the list first. The cyberpunk dystopia doesn't have to be this hard to find businesses by certain names.
Unfortunately, this wasn't the place.
You're right, Metal. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, the dogs being debarked is another thing that has me a bit confused. Like, you don't want that. Most people don't want that. Isn't it, like, really controversial and painful, and a lot of surgeons won't do it, and the only times you're supposed to do it is if there's a really genuinely bad emergency where, like, children in the house will suffer hearing losses from dogs who, like, have something wrong with their own behavior. I don't think it would be popular. Do not think it would be popular. Okay, we're going to the Junker headquarters. But we can't. Google doesn't exist in this universe. How do we... Okay, we gotta find a phone book. We gotta go to headquarters to get the phone book and go to the O's. Still can't get used to Metal Gear being the cute robot. What do you should have gotten used to that several times before. It's happened. The Metal Gear Mark II is in Metal Gear Solid 4 and he's a cute robot. The Metal Gear robot in the MSX games are like really anticlimactic and cute. I mean, maybe not in the Metal Gear 2, but in Metal Gear 1, it's like kind of a JPEG that you put JPEGs as C4 on the feet. I feel like Metal Gear Ray is cute in some contexts. Metal Gear Rex is kind of cute when he's making the moo cow noise. Oh, right, we were gonna call our wife on our cell phone and ask her about the pharmaceutical company. No, didn't she have a really simple number? 39344444. 393444. 39. The not codec. Why is there always bum bum bum? Wait, is this like a gag? Oh my god, it's a snatcher. Yeah.
Surprised you, huh?
Why would you do that?
This is just a tape. I'm at work right now. If you need to reach me, please call
Oh my god, this is why they're getting divorced, isn't it?
391009. Sorry to scare you. Bye.
Why would anyone do that? Wait, no, she hasn't? Isn't that like a big thing? Okay, well, now that she's not at home, we go visit her home. No one has cell phones! No one actually has cell phones, and it's becoming a problem. The investigation hit a stall when I needed to talk to someone while they weren't at home. I don't know what to do now, Chief. Get back to work! I have been relying on this guy's tips shamefully. Doesn't your wife work at Kobe Pharmaceuticals? Why don't you give here a call and ask a few questions? Well, I kind of just tried that and she didn't answer. We gotta... Okay, Kobe Pharmaceuticals? Maybe we can call the workplace? 39 34 4. Number... Oh! 39 1009. Did he not tell me that the first time? Oops. 1000.
Good afternoon. Neo Kobe Pharmaceutical Labs. May I help you? Oh, Gillian, what's up?
Does anyone even really do video calls? Yeah, that was a short-term trend. FaceTime. Didn't last. I guess it's kind of like a VR thing, like adding on extra steps was too much for the people, the humans. I need to shut up and think about the story. This might get interesting. UV therapy. Oh, it's a skin cancer hospital. Why do they call it the black market when it seems relatively tolerated? I guess I'm Maybe it means something in their universe like gray market would to ours. Not that bad of a word. Oh yeah, the other thing about the FaceTime video calls is you can't really multitask. You gotta stop what you're doing to look at the camera. Okay, now what do we... We'll ask the police chief. It's a fake out. She's actually a snatcher. So wait, does that mean that she, like, puts on a human mask to fool us, but the voice message machine might have happened when she was in the middle of changing them off, and... Anyways. Maybe he knows about Olean Hospital. Maybe we have to go in and out of a few rooms. They'll call us. Ah. No. I will shut the locker. Does Jamie really work at Kobe Pharmaceuticals? Calling people at work. 39. Hey. Why are they trying to pretend like this? So, might be bugging her. She did not call me back.
Good afternoon.
It's only been like 5 real-life minutes, but I've been in and out of 4 video game rooms.
What's up?
Ask out of... Oh. Oh no. We go somewhere on the motorcycle? Do we have to call Napoleon? Do we take a poop in our toilet? I'm supposed to be simulating time in a Kojima game, and going to the bathroom and taking a shit is my immediate first instinct. should go to the Metal Gear Club. Oh crap, wrong button. Oh, there we go.
Gillian, it's the emergency line from HQ. I'll connect you.
Gillian, I'm glad I got you. I got a call from Katrina. She said she has something she needs to give you.
Something to give me? What in the world?
She seemed really scared. Kept saying that Alice was barking.
When did she call?
Oh, that's the
About 30
daughter.
minutes or so ago.
Oh, is this where the dog gets fucked up?
Gillian, we should hurry.
Yeah.
Katrina's in trouble.
Game's picking up again. Gibson. But we're gonna automatic trap. We're gonna have to quick save as soon as possible, 'cause we might get snatched. Nope. Ah, wrong button again. Okay, area. Did the light just turn off? Monitor. Your monitor? Okay, but what about the dog? Right. Oh. Snatchers. And the dog. Oh no. This is terrifying. Oh, there's claw marks on the wall. Follow the footprints. The backyard again. There's footprints out there. No, ah! Guess I did all the triggers. I don't know what I did. I thought we were calling HQ. Ah, aha. Oh my god. Call, I think the call button's been here this whole time. Okay.
Gillian, I read motion. Use extreme caution. The signal is coming from outside the window.
Now this is where the dog gets fucked up.
The dog is dead. Body temperature temperature suggests it was killed about 10 minutes ago. No doubt the work of Snatchers.
Scum! No reason to kill the poor animal. Katrina! Where's Katrina?
We can leave the cleanup here to the jump crews. We should look for Katrina.
Judging from the mess they made here, it looks like they were looking for something. We're quite upset that they couldn't find it.
Perhaps that means that Katrina is still safe.
That's true. If they had her, there'd be no need to turn the place upside down like this.
Perhaps Katrina took whatever they were looking for and fled.
Hang on a second. They threw the dog through the window.
Let's get back to the turbo cycle.
You should chase, right? I'm so confused about what we're doing. Okay. The woman was attacked with her dog. They killed the dog, threw it through a window to spook us. And there wasn't like a chase scene or anything. There was an expository dialogue between your robot. I'm starting to lose the plot, I think. And the thing is, like, get on the motorcycle to pursue whoever threw the dog at you, right? But no, we're just going back to HQ. I feel like I'm starting to lose it here. Chief's office. Ask the chief for help. Hurry up! Go find her! Check the places she seems likely to go. Oh, okay. I'm sorry that was not my first thought. When a stranger throws a disemboweled corpse of a dog through a window at me while I'm searching for a missing woman, and that of all the items on the menus that I have to pick with, they were not immediately spelling out the connection between chasing the victims or perpetrators both. They're two perfectly good people to be chasing. Alton Plaza. Okay, that's where we're going. I don't think you're... I can't tell if you're talking about me or the actual police chief. Oh, gosh. Man. A cold shower. Got the hot water turned on after so many days of it being off. It might get turned off again, but air in here is real dusty. Whenever I take a shower, there's like this residue of slime behind. I hope my respiratory... All this talk about pollen in the game is not... I'm not triggering a great physiological reaction. Title of chief is not to be messaged. Does the background art change slightly? Because the Santa Claus in the last one totally missed me by, and now I'm a bit more on guard, so I'm immediately noticing a guy in a trench coat in the lower right. How are they going to find each other with no cell phone? Okay. Door, Plato's Cavern. Going at the only things on the list. I'm still confused about how, like, sometimes the player actions just really do not seem to match up with what the character would be doing in the situation. There was some real extreme dissonance when Gillian was shoving his gun down the guy's mouth, who had a small amount of drugs to help support an apparently an aspiring surfer career. And then this chase with the dog. Like someone was within throwing distance. Like they didn't throw a pinball ball. Like, this was not a concealed strike. This was a guy threw a Doberman, a dead Doberman, through a window. And Gillian's reaction was to stand there and talk with the robot and let him get away.
Wait a sec. My lights are on.
Oh boy, and I think I can tell what's going to happen here.
Off before I left.
Be careful. A Snatcher may be in your apartment.
Yeah, Snatchers are supposed to have superhuman strength or something, but I don't think you would need that much superhuman strength to throw the dog through a window. I mean, unless we're talking like for Gillian, the cop on the scene, to just not consider it at all in the romanticism of a detective story. Like for Gillian to consider that a lost cause, then he might be assuming that the thrower of the dog is like 40 or 50 feet away doing it from the bushes. That window got sniped by a sniper hidden in the bushes who projectile threw a 50-pound dog 50 feet through the air to do it in a concealed way. Let's just... No! Look, apartment, move. Okay, why is it not on the list? Look, apartment building. Yep. Okay, I guess we gotta do that before we can go in. No! Investigate. Gillian's room. Now do we go? Investigate. Now we go inside.
I hear something.
This time I can hear it too.
I read motion. Something is in there.
All right, Metal. Lock the front door. We're not letting anything out of here.
Oh, they don't even make you, like, you can't go right to it. Yeah, they make you click through all this redundancy. The suspense build. It's for the suspense build. Even though it's pretty obvious what's going to happen. They got us build suspense for us. Is Gillian going to get attacked by an ugly, nasty robot snatcher? while going on this search for Hence the bathroom. Yep, there's a girl. She's like a model. We all know what's happening here. The sound is coming from the bathroom. What do I gotta click on to just fucking go? They are significantly different than my footprints. Is that what it's gonna take? No, okay. Yeah, let's get this over with. This is the opposite. Of the spooky killer in a shower scene. What? Metal Gear. Do I have to quick save to get this stupid fan service sequence overthrough? Did you have to click it 3 times? Did you have to quick save before they let you click it? What was the trigger?
I'll open the blinds by altering the electrical polarity. Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead.
The tension is boring me.
All right. Now opening the
Gillian just really wants to shit. Oh no.
Perverts! Get out of here!
I hope you learned your lesson, Gillian.
Oh wait, what if she's a Snatcher?
Definitely had that coming to you.
Because of the pollen, the sneezing, it seems to foreshadow Snatchers.
Close your eyes either.
You have to investigate it 4 times.
Retractable shutters.
Oh, shut up. You know exactly what I mean.
Here comes Katrina.
Oh my god, they drew nipples.
I'm just glad that you're safe, Katrina.
This is a very normal conversation.
I just looked up your address and I let myself in. Did I
Surprise me? You bet you surprised
Why is the music like that?
That's all right.
I just they made her blink as part of an idol animation, and she has some kind of lip sync, but her arms are staying up there forever. Skin tight towels. Yeah, hang on a second. So, like, I just realized that not only did the artist of the pixel art draw the nipples onto the towel there, but wouldn't that also mean that it's really cold in this room when it's like a bathroom where she's fresh out of the shower? Oh boy. Oh boy. See, this is... We're gonna tell her that her dog died. desk. Oh no! I know they changed this one for the Western release. Oh boy. How long has it taken us to get to this? Okay, that's right. Because we got a panicked phone call. When I was straightening up the living room, I found this inside that old model of our house. I wish real life made it this easy. Illicit Hospital official weekly magazine publishes our new directory. I'm sorry, like, I just realized that this girl's dad, like, died the night previously, and her dog is dying this night. And her initial reaction in the moment of panic after calling the cops is to look up the random cop's address and take a sexy shower in his bathroom. Type in the name, phone. Time is it? It's 11:22. Eddie is pawing at me. He's gonna want to go out. How do we get off of the nipple screen? Look for clue. Little memory. Right? 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 Why did they have to ask me 3 times? Why are they pretending like this is hard? The last time I did this password thing, it was way harder. Oh, that's a big list. Okay. O-L-E-E-N. Neolo? Maybe it's a misspelling, like an anagram or something? Hard about the name. Okay, investigate list, look for clue. Brokes. There's no numbers, so I can't do 3-3-N. O-I-E-N. Queen? Yeah, I really wanted to see the picture. Maybe I should type in hospital, Oline? Oh, maybe it's meant to be read backwards? I think I already did Nilo. Okay, maybe if I read it upside down. Hero? Nello? Don't say it. Maybe additional letters appear after the N. Eh? What? Wait, why are they seeing that? Oline or Olina? I don't see any other bright red pixel. Which filter did you end up going for? I hope the filter's not messing me up here. This one was called CRT. Oh, Maximus-Royale. CRT Maximus-Royale. Doesn't look that different with the filter turned off. Hospital looks utterly unreadable. Oh, okay. That Great Meal sign in Alton Plaza was burnt out, making a different reading. Huh? Me. So, I'm not seeing darker letters in the pixel art. Hospital O-E-N, Hospital Olin. I don't want to look at the phone. I don't want to look at the phone. I feel like it's right at the tip of my face and I'm about to get... Is it because one of the first E is kind of drippy looking? This can't possibly be. Oh. Queen? Is the pixel art filter screwing me up? Let me take another look at this with raw pixel art. Queen, I could kind of see it, but where we have room to put the extra arm on the U, the right arm on the U. Okay. Okay, there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 9 pixels of slightly darker orange that are connecting the L to the E with less weight even than what the L gets connecting it to the O. 30 maximum. It really does disappear under the filter. Maybe I would have gotten it sooner if the filter was turned. But then what about the Q? Oween? They wouldn't name it Hospital Oween, would they? There's supposed to be a Q there that also got burnt out? Well, let's try Queen. No, no, ah! Queen. Yeah, I tried that. Let me double try it. Did I misspell it? I just checked that name. I'm gonna try it a third time. U-U-E-N. Should it be Queen hyphen? Should it be Hospital Queen one word? We're gonna try Hospital Queen one word. Oh man. I think this is gonna have to be my final puzzle for the night. Queen hyphen. Is it a case sensitivity problem? Is it queeze? Is that actually a Z at the end? They misspell the answer to the puzzle? I'm getting fucked with at this point. Yeah. There's no farthest I may have been burnt out. And that chess piece must have some meaning. N. Now let me get on Google and double fucking check that that's how you spell Queen. Queen, the American rock band. Should I look at the phone now at this point? Am I allowed to? Little... Should I turn the pixel art filter off? Okay, but didn't they say that it looked like something got cut off, like Olina or Olini? Is it Queenie or Queena? I still also don't see the foot of the Q in there at all. Alright, let's just start brute forcing Queena, Queenie, Queeno, Queen Q, Queen Z. Still not looking at my smartphone. I am resisting. Not gonna look until I get it. Wild. Oh, there's more hints that I've been missing. Queenza? How was I supposed to get that? With an S? I mean, I was going down the list of suffixes. Queenza, Queenie, Queena. I would have gotten Queenza eventually. The music stopped. That means I got it. How were you supposed to know it was Queens with an S? Were you supposed to start guessing at some point and maybe starting with the plurals because of the eat meals, great meals underneath? Okay, I'm gonna look at the phone and see what I missed just then, but oh yeah, it's 11:39. I'm gonna have to save. And yeah, Queena from Final Fantasy IX. For some reason, Queena from Final Fantasy IX was higher on my vocabulary list of passwords to try than Queens, just the normal ordinary plural. Okay, so let's go all the way back to yeah. Kanzi, which filter did you end up going for, George? I'm trying some with a screenshot on shader glass. Okay. I feel like you have a bilinear or horizontal blur on the emulator itself. Also, Matthias has uncharacteristically weak scan lines. Might be that I'm on 1080p and you're probably on 4K, or you tweak the settings. I just asked out of personal curiosity, not the puzzle. Well, because it might have played a part. The, there is an extra foot on this U here. You can see with the raw pixels. Now, as far as like having some other blurring effect on, I don't think so. I feel like you have a bilinear or horizontal blur on the emulator itself. I think the filter might be applying that because when I turn it off, it looks disgustingly sharp. I do not want that. When I have bilinear filtering turned on, I think that kind of looks a little better actually. But seeing this line of bluish orange right here really is supposed to be the giveaway. I do not think the pixel artist drew any hint, giving us a hint on the Q, but there is a very slight line of pixels where the U, the right-hand foot of the U could have been. That looks so much better with the CRT filter on, by the way. I'm not turning that off. That's what the chess piece was trying to tell us? Okay, so to leave us clues, the dead police officer scribbled a note with his last bit of strength that said search the house with a little picture of a disk drive on it. And he had a disk with some important Snatcher research that you use in a house that you search to find the computer on it. That seems reasonable. He was also carrying around a queen chess piece in the pocket of one of his jackets because it has something to do with the black market queen hospital.
What's the address of that hospital?
CX District, PHC 77.
I wish I lived in this economy. Imagine going... He's probably a snatcher.
Gillian, please be careful.
Oh my god.
You're safe now. They won't be coming after you.
Just to be on the safe side, we will have Kobe police take you into protective custody.
Gillian, I'm sorry about the way I reacted in the shower. Maybe if your timing had been a little better, we might have...
Don't worry about it, Katrina. I think I needed a cold shower anyway.
I'm just so confused. I don't want to lose anybody else.
All right, let's go, Metal. We have to pay a visit to Queen's Hospital.
Okay, Queen's Hospital. Let's exit. I want to save. I can't save here in this menu. I guess we gotta save hospital. The unfiltered art is way clearer than that. Are you sure about that? You might be looking at the PC version art. The pixel art can look pretty different across versions. Okay, I want to save. Save first of all. Yeah. Oh, there's the cue. I was feeling really vindicated for a second. You know what? I still feel vindicated. The U changes width when the tube is flickering on and off. The entire U changes width. So whether or not the artist actually had the room to give it that extra leg in the version we were looking at also seems kind of misleading. And the Q, the foot on the Q, reappears, disappears from the ether. There is no hint at all on that. Okay, use Metal Gear, save. Spot 2. Yeah. completed. Make a save state. Just in case. Hit finish. Ultimately. Alright. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Oh, look at the Blade Runner pyramid in the background. They're calling it the Sega Dystopia Pyramid. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm sorry that I talked about Homer for 2 hours before beginning the actual stream, but that was fun, and the stream was fun. I had a bit of fun. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for the $25 during the discovery. If I had to bring a game on my Odyssey adventure, I would bring Assassin's Creed Odyssey.